How do National Guard emergency operations plans activate state emergency powers? Imagine a situation where a natural disaster or civil disturbance overwhelms local resources and authorities. In such moments, the ability to swiftly mobilize and utilize state emergency powers becomes crucial to protect lives and property. But how exactly does this process unfold, especially when it involves the National Guard and their emergency operation plans? The activation of state emergency powers by the National Guard begins with the governor of the state. The governor holds the primary authority to declare a state of emergency, which is a formal declaration that grants specific legal powers to respond to a crisis. This declaration is typically based on the recommendation of emergency management officials and is supported by evidence of the threat or disaster. Once the governor declares a state of emergency, they can activate the state's emergency operations plan. These plans are comprehensive frameworks that outline procedures for coordinating resources, personnel, and equipment during emergencies. The plans specify how the National Guard will be integrated into the response effort, including activation protocols and command structures. Activation of the National Guard under the state's emergency powers often involves the governor issuing an executive order or directive. This order authorizes the National Guard to perform specific tasks such as disaster response, law enforcement support, or humanitarian assistance. The order also establishes the legal basis for the Guard's actions, including the authority to arrest, enforce curfews, or assist in evacuations. The process includes coordination with the state's emergency management agency, which oversees the activation and deployment of the National Guard units. These units are typically placed on alert status, ready to be mobilized quickly. The governor may also request federal assistance if the situation exceeds state capabilities, at which point federal agencies and the President of the United States can authorize additional support. Throughout this process, the activation of the National Guard and the exercise of state emergency powers are governed by state laws, executive orders, and the National Guard's own regulations. These legal frameworks ensure that the response is organized, lawful, and effective, enabling the Guard to operate within the scope of their designated authority during emergencies. In summary, the activation of state emergency powers by the National Guard involves a formal declaration by the governor, activation of emergency plans, issuance of executive orders, and coordination with emergency management agencies. This structured approach ensures a rapid and lawful response to crises, helping to safeguard communities and restore normalcy as efficiently as possible.